Cast Iron IRL. We're gonna make some steak fajitas. Who's ready for all that? I know I am. I am totally ready for that. If anybody's out there tuning in already, if you guys could maybe hit the like button if you can hear and see me okay, I would greatly appreciate it. And we can get started after that. There we go. There's somebody getting connected to the comments section. And we haven't had storms, but we got storms coming in. Let's see who we got. Val's Black Cat Rules. Hello, hello. Rick Stumball, Ronald Coward, Greg Hart. Good to see you guys. Let me get connected to the chat. My internet is running super slow the last like half an hour. So just give me 1 second to connect, and I might even have to just like start everything and then go back out of it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do that. So we might just be we're out of gas. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Lake Hickory guy, how are you? Good to see you. So we'll go out, we'll refresh this screen, and then we'll get sure happy it's Thursday. Me too. There we go. There we are. We're getting there. Yeah, the internet is running way slow, so hopefully it lasts through the stream, because it's right before it's just set sun here about 20 minutes ago, and it is real dark on the opposite of the horizon. Rick Stumball, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. All right, so there it says we're connected, so hopefully, yeah, there we go. Now we're starting to get somewhere. One of these days I'm going to figure out how to do that schedule thing. Schedule everything, and then it just kind of kicks on. But every time I do that, I become a viewer. So I don't know why that is, but that is the way it is. The experience, yeah. We're actually looking. We were going through. I was going through pictures today, because I have to have, once I contacted the T-shirt and merch people, I have to have a good picture of the beads, the one I want to use. So hopefully here directly. She's out there. Bob the Builder, what's up, buddy? Glad you could make it. Didn't know for sure if you'd be there. Yeah, Bob, what are you canning today? I think I asked you that earlier, but I didn't get a chance to get back to everything. So anyway, we're going to start this off. We're going to do steak fajitas, which is going to be super easy, and then we're also going to do like a nacho dip on the side for some nacho chips, and that's going to be what we're doing. Let's see, yeah. Oh, salsa. Very cool, man. Very cool. So when you do salsa, do you just like, is it a water bath style? Is that how you're doing it, or do you pressure do it? Because I'd like to do my own salsa, but I haven't ventured that far into canning yet. I've only ever water bath canned, and I've had good luck with it. But William Hurt, what's going on? What's going on? So anyway, we are going to go ahead. First, we're going to start by cutting up our meat, our fajita meat, which tonight I'm going to be using a flank steak. And I don't know how much of the flank steak, because when I've done fajitas in the past, it's kind of an off-the-cuff sort of thing. Yeah, keeping it short. Got to smash the thumb in. Yeah, if everybody smash thumbs up, that would be greatly appreciated. But I'm going to go ahead, because I'm going to kind of marinate the flank steak, and then we'll get water bath salsa. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Bob the Builder, that makes 100% sense to me. So yeah, anyway, so let me grab some gloves. We'll get the meat out. And I was at the butcher shop today, and I picked up a really nice flank steak. So mine is never lasted in canner preserve, right? Yeah, I hear you on that. Mine doesn't either. I make mine, and when you guys were here, some of you guys were here for the pop-up video I did, and you guys saw what I did. But yeah, I don't. My salsa, I kind of make it in a smaller batch, so it doesn't last that long. And then I freeze my tomatoes. I just flash freeze the tomatoes kind of a little bit, and then I just make it out of cherry tomatoes as the year progresses. But let me put this off to the side here. And the flank steak I got today was super nice. I was really happy with that. So there's not a lot of trimming to do to it. But one of the things we want to make sure we do is we're going to cut this into strips, and we're going to cut it across the grain. Yeah, everybody's here tonight. Very cool, very cool. So we're just going to cut some strips. Oh, hey, before I get any farther with this, I just want to show you guys what I'm going to use. I'll actually re-glove here in a second. But I just want to show you guys some of the stuff that I'm going to use tonight. We're going to be using the Descoware Ace Frehley pan, late 50s, early 60s, Belgian enamelware. And then I've got Mom's sizzle server. This was actually my mom's, so she bought it at a garage sale back in probably the mid 70s. It hung in our kitchen my whole life growing up, and even after I moved out of the house. And then we're also going to be using our Sydney Hollowware, mid 1800s to mid 1900s, about 1885, 83 to about 1895, which is one of my favorite pans that I've ever gotten. That was a barn find, literally found in a barn, buried in dirt, and I was lucky enough to get that out of there from a barn sale. And they were actually having a barn sale when I got that, and just happened to be out there, and I was like, hey, what's that? And so they gave me a good deal on it. I forget now what I paid for it, but it wasn't more than a few. I want to say $10, but so that's what I got that one for. Anyway, I'm gonna re-glove up, and after I show those, I'm gonna heat these pans up as well, get them kind of started on their way to warming, and we'll finish cutting this flank steak up. Thanks, Rick. Worst part, I think I shared it with him. Oh, is Val, is your hubby not feeling good? That sucks. That's terrible. But anyway, yeah, I hope he gets better. Matzo ball soup. That cures about everything. So, anyhow, let me take the bonnet off this, and we'll get in there. We're gonna cut. Now go against the grain. It's one of the most important things. Go against the grain, because if you don't, it'll dry your meat up. Now this is pretty lean for flank steak. I was really surprised that it was actually as lean as it was. So there's not a lot of trimming going on with it. There we go. It's cutting really nice. I was looking at knives. I was looking at new knives today, by the way. I think it's about time for not a new knife, but another knife. There we go. Better soon make chicken soup. Yeah, matzo ball soup. I'm telling you, that is the cure right there for anything that ails just about anybody. That and those Tang packets, the Tang Zero. After I was sick this past winter with that really bad sore throat, I highly recommend anybody getting those Tang packets. They're so full of vitamin C, and nothing was touching it for days on end. And those things had me straightened out within like 24 hours. So I've got about that much beef. I'm gonna put the rest of this back into the refrigerator because I'm gonna use that for tacos tomorrow. Because it's gonna be one of those taco weekends, and I'm kind of feeling margarita-ish too. So I think it's gonna be tacos and margaritas and all that kind of stuff this weekend. Let me throw this back in the fridge. Now you're too young to be falling apart. Yeah, 100%. Throw that back in there. Grab something to slip on while we're doing all this. And then I'm going to move this off to the side where it needs to be. And then we'll get this up here and go from there to here. There we go. All right, so let's see, we're out of gas. We had freezer bone soup Tuesday, Wednesday steak and chicken bone. Okay. Cowboy candy, I should say. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've been watching baseball all day. I spent most of the day at the local watering hole watching the Reds beat the Pirates, and hopefully the Mets can do me some good tonight, and or the Cubs can do me some good tonight and actually beat the Mets again, which would be fantastic. So we're just going to take not olive oil, but a little bit of avocado oil. Not much, just a little bit. And this is one of those recipes that you can kind of eyeball if you got the right ingredients, which is what I'm going to do. Let me get the top off this thing. It's not one. Oh, this is not a twister. I've got to actually take the top off that. All right, very cool, very cool. That done. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start with a little bit of garlic powder. Just a little bit. And I'm just going to cover the top of everything. I'm not going to go with any kind of like measurement. I'm just going to cover the top. A little bit of black pepper. There we go. Bring you guys a little bit closer onto the top so you can see it a little better. And then we've got, I'm going to do a pinch, if I can get my fat fingers in there, pinch of cream of tartar to kind of break that down a little bit, help break that meat down. And then we're going to sprinkle on some chili powder. It wants to come out. There we go. We're going a little chili powder, a little bit of ground cumin, just enough. We're just going to cover it. There we go. Some paprika to cover it. And I'm going to take some zombie dust, which is ramp, furnished to me by our buddy Artie Bliss. So a little bit of zombie dust onto there. I don't exactly know what is in zombie dust other than ramp, because every time I ask Artie what's in there, Artie's one of those guys, it's hard to get him to just like specifically say something. A little bit of crushed red pepper. There we go. Let's see what's going on in there. A little bit more of the crushed red pepper, but not too much, because I'm going to add some. I'm going to be adding some fresh cayenne pepper to this, so we don't need a bunch of too much other than that. And then we'll just re-glove up. Get a little drink here. Check the comment. Jerry Chauvin, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. What's in Artie's? Yeah, that's what I was just saying, Greg. Or yeah, Greg. All I know is what's in it is ramp, and I've tried to have him narrow down for me what's in it. And Artie's one of these guys, man. I love him to death. But when you start talking to him about something, he loves minutia, like absolutely loves the minutia. And so he's one of these guys that when you talk to him about something, um, he tends to go on and on and on. Like he'll tell me a million different facts about ramp, but he won't tell me what's in the. By the time it's over with, you're just like, I don't even know what's in the zombie dust, and I totally give up on it. So that's kind of where I get with it when I when I talk to Hardy about stuff. Chris Lynch, what's going on? Thank you so much for subscribing. We're closing in on 1,000, surprisingly enough. And I'm actually gonna add just a little bit more. I want this to be moist, but not overly greasy, because I don't want it to. I've let the beef kind of dry for the last few hours, so we don't get a ton of smoke. You guys can see that. The kind of it's sort of like taco meat. You get a lot of the same stuff, but you don't. And we're gonna set this off. We're gonna throw a bonnet on it. I'm gonna get everything onto here. And then we're gonna throw a bonnet on this thing. And I wanna show you guys something really cool before I actually forget about it. Speaking of bonnets, and it's not my new bonnet. But I was out there, I've been cleaning out the garage so we can start doing, because I do a lot of like deep frying and stuff and cooking in the garage in the wintertime, since I can't get out and grill out. So I've been really, with the kids moving out and all this stuff, I've really been trying to reorganize the garage and getting their stuff out of there. And so we can actually do some videos out there, and you guys can see some of the stuff that's in like the lye tank and using the e-tanks and those kind of things, which I think that's going to be pretty cool. Add a little bit more to the viewing experience. All right, so that's on there. But when I was out there, I realized that I had started to. I've got a lot of sourdough starter, a big thing of sourdough starter in my fridge, and it's dormant right now. And so what I did, I set it off to the side when Ming was here about a month, or a little over. It's been about a month and a half since the last time she was home. Now that she's got her new job, but I actually. I've left that starter out in the garage, and I put it on a shelf behind some stuff, and it completely dehydrated down to a disc in the bottom of a little mason jar that I had it in. But I had a bonnet on it. Well, speaking of bonnets, we're going to put the bonnet back on this, and this is the bonnet that I'm talking. This is one of the bonnets that I'm talking about. Speaking of Ming, she got me a whole set of these off Amazon a couple years ago, and I absolutely love them. But anyway, the sourdough starter, on Monday, I was out cleaning the garage, and I found the sourdough starter that I was trying to reactivate, and I forgot about it. So it completely dehydrated. And to set it up, I had one of those bonnets like this one on top of it, and then I had a ring on it, and I was letting it kind of like get going again. Well, and like I said, I forgot about it, so it completely dried out. And so I took it out on Monday after I found it, and I broke it up. I kind of took like a meat tenderizer, and I broke it up, and I reanimated it back into some water. And surprisingly enough, I've been feeding this for the last couple days. It was down to here, and I think today it's actually started. And I don't know if you guys can see this or not if I show you, but it's actually starting to bubble back up. And now it's not 100% activated yet, but it's bubbling up, and I think that actually worked. So it's kind of my little project for the last couple days. I've been feeding it. I just fed it about 2-3 hours ago, and kind of took the discard out. So we're going to see here in the next couple days, maybe tomorrow, if it actually will rise up. It did start out about down to here. It got up to about there today, and then it stopped. But I think I'm onto something with that. So that's pretty cool. Actually, it's kind of like a science project that kind of reinforces the fact of how sturdy sourdough starter actually is. Because I was not impressed with sourdough a few months ago when I got into it. And I think with sourdough, I just think I'm not going to do it during the summer months because it was a mess. And it attracted like a lot of gnats and things like that. So I think I'm going to save it for like the winter and the fall kind of months, when it can sit out a little better without bringing in every gnat on the planet. So we've got that sitting onto the side. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut up some vegetables and we're going to put those into our, we're going to make a cheese sauce for some nachos. So let me cut up a couple things. I'm going to cut up a few onions here real quick. These onions going. We're going to add a little bit of onion to this. As I find my knife again. Oh, I'll use my slicing knife. So we'll just slice off just a little bit of onion onto this. Let's see, read the comments there. Radagast, we save all the bones and save them in water in 1 quart containers. Then pull out however much soup you want to make, and at the end of the water is already there. That's cool. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. I don't need much of this, but I want this to kind of be in. And some of that meat we're actually going to throw into our cheese sauce. The little pieces there, and then we'll get some of these. Get some little dice action into that. And then we'll go ahead and we'll start building our cheese sauce. There we go. I was wondering, I've heard from Fuzzfork who keeps emailing me, but is he still not allowed? Yeah, there you go. I was just getting ready to say that, Greg. Maybe he's got computer issues. I don't know. He sent me the thing about the gnome pan, Lodge's gnome pan. And I'll get into that. I don't know why I cannot get to the Lodge website. I have no idea. And even this morning about 10 o'clock, I called Lodge and I asked them, I'm like, why can I not get to your guys' site? This is it's ridiculous. Drunken Chef Barbecue, Thirsty Thursday, Modelo time. That's right, baby. Good to see you, buddy. How are you? But yeah, I mean, I can get to anything I want to get to. I tried, and I went through the emails, because I'm signed up to follow Lodge through my emails and stuff, and I tried both emails that I have. I tried just going to, www.lodge.com. Still can't get it. Like 3/4 of the way loads up, and then I can't get to it. And I wanted that gnome pan, and Fuzz sent me a link for it, but it was to a site that I've never seen before, so I was kind of leery about getting to it. But I really wanted to, get that gnome pan, share it with you guys, and unbox it. Drunken Chef Barbecue. You came to the right place, buddy. Salud. Lunche. Okay, so let's get over to here and get our sauce made for this. Got that on. Turn this back on just a little bit. Now to make this sauce, it's nothing amazing. I just didn't feel like going and getting any queso or anything like that, so we're just going to throw down a little bit of olive oil into here. Not much, just a touch. And let me get a paper towel. I'm going to wipe that around just a little bit. That down. Can you guys see this okay? Yeah, you guys are close enough. Close as you guys can get, I guess. Wipe that around. And then we're just going to take a little bit of Velveeta. I know everybody's like, oh my God, Velveeta, but it makes a great sauce. It really does. In a pinch, it makes a great Mexican sauce. Or Southwestern style, I guess. So we'll throw those in there. That's about a cup for anybody who's counting. Please remember to hit that like and share this out if you haven't already. Thank you so much, Drunken Chef. You were like in the house tonight, buddy. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. I find my enamelware has a tendency to stick just a little bit more. I do, yeah, I do too. Especially when I'm dealing with, well, I mean, like anything dairy, it always kind of has that tendency to scald. So, especially something I'm gonna kind of, you know, keep a, kind of take a little bit of time to melt. So I'm keeping it, I've got this just above simmer for anybody who's wondering. I've got it just above simmer because I want this to kind of, you know, do its thing. And we're going to splash just a little bit of milk into here. Just a little bit, not much. Maybe about 2 tablespoons, I'd say. Oh, and one of the other things, I almost forgot this, almost, is we want to take, we're going to throw our onion into here. So that cooks along with it. There we go, we've got our onion in there. But what I want to do is, I want to get just a little bit of this, of lemon juice into that steak, which I totally forgot about. So we'll just get this juiced up. A little bit of juice going on here. Always make sure that you kind of rock these back and forth so they're a little pliable, and then we'll get another knife. My big dishes, I always tend to, and we're just going to cut the end off that. We're going to take this part, which hopefully I've gotten that to the right size. We're going to drop that into our Modelo where it belongs. And then we're going to pop this up here, let that get onioned up, I guess. And then we're going to take that, we've got end piece, and we're going to put that over top of our steak. And that'll help not only give it some flavor, but it's also going to help that break down. That acetic acid is going to help that break down. Cheers from North Carolina. What's up, buddy? Dig Parma, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, man. That's cool, man. There's people coming in from all over the place. So we'll get that lemon on there, which is crucial to do, and I totally dropped the ball on that. That's my fault. And then we'll going to glove back up, and I'm going to work that around. I'm not going to put the glove all the way back on. Well, maybe I can. Here, since my hands were wet, I wouldn't be able to do it, but. And we'll work that back on there, take the glove off, and then we'll bonnet that thing back up. Cheers from North Carolina. Cheers to you. Popping tops tonight. There you go. So we're going to go ahead and put that back on there. We're going to move some of this other stuff out the way because we don't need it anymore. As far as I know. As far as I know, we don't need it. So, and the cream of tartar, we don't need that anymore. And we don't need to knock our stuff off. What did I drop? Oh yeah. I was going to use that to measure everything out, but you know, kind of got in the way. Donald Grovins, Philadelphia, what's going on, buddy? Very cool, very cool. All right, so, ooh, hear that knife? Set that off to the side. We're also going to take, we'll move back over to here and get back on top of that because we don't want to forget about this. So we got that going on there with that. Now, if you've got any kind of like canned chilies or anything like that, that's a good time to maybe throw in a couple tablespoons of canned chilies in there. But what I do have, I don't have canned chili, I do, but I'm not going to break them out because I have this hot sauce that we made a couple weeks ago, And I'm really wanting to keep using this and use this up. Let's see if we can, there we go. And we're gonna take, and we're gonna dump a few tablespoons into there. And this stuff is fire, absolute fire. I'm really digging on this hot sauce that we made, which was out of nothing but cayenne pepper. We're gonna throw that in there. Or if you have like a couple tablespoons of salsa, anything like that, go ahead and feel free to, it works really well. So let's move that off to the side. And there we go. And we're gonna let that kind of do its thing. Let me get a spatula, little one. We're gonna start letting that kind of, see, it's starting to melt already. So that's gonna be good on our chips. It's gonna be really good on our chips that we're gonna have on the side. I probably could have cut that into some, well, could have cut it into smaller chunks, but that's what we're doing now, so it is what it is. Yeah, citrus doesn't like cold. I'm gonna keep it real. Chip dip, yes. Well, it's kind of chip covering. I'm just gonna pour it, and then my thing is I'm probably just gonna throw it on top of the chips and just pour it on top. But yeah, you could definitely use it as a chip dip. There we go. Oop, dropped an onion. I gotta get that before the Beegs does. Fajitas and salsa. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're having. Donald Govins. Yeah, I'm making steak fajitas on probably about a 75-year-old fajita pan that I restored that was my mom's. And then we're doing the fajita shells. We're doing those on a probably 135-year-old Sydney Hollowware griddle that I restored back about a year ago. That's still going strong. And that's what we're doing. So we're just going to let this, yeah, I don't want this to scorch. And you know, that's the worst thing about it. Yeah, I'm going to keep it real. I like that. I like that handle. I'm going to keep it real. That's a good one. There we go. But yeah, these pieces, there's none of these pieces that were made in probably the last 60 years. This is the newest one out of all of them, and this was made in the mid-50s until about the mid-60s. This Descoware piece from Belgium. It's kind of the, Descoware is kind of the Le Creuset of Germany, of Belgium. There we go. That's starting to come together already. Break these pieces down. Get something to drink, check the comment section. Well, you're so welcome. Thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate it. I'm gonna keep it real. that's gonna make me laugh all night. That's gonna make me laugh the entire thing. So there we go. And that sauce, I'm not gonna add any kind of chili powder. If you wanna add a chili pepper or anything like that to yours, or crushed red pepper, I mean, it more than warrants that. But this sauce is so super hot. Plus, it's been hanging out in the fridge for like 2 weeks, so it's like at peak, absolute peak of spiciness. And the cayenne peppers, I mean, when we did the sauce a few weeks ago in that pop-up live stream, those were right out of the garden. I mean, they weren't even, I think they were like an hour off the plant itself. Might just toss a little bit more milk into there. Kind of looks like pimento cheese. Yeah, it does, actually. And it kind of, you know, to be totally transparent, at this point it kind of smells like pimento cheese. Just a little bit more. But pimento cheese, I remember my parents getting like I remember when I was a little kid, my parents like having parties and stuff, and they would get that pimento cheese, that Kraft pimento cheese, and it came in like the little glass containers. I don't know if you guys remember that stuff at all, but I remember that so well. And like the big thing for me was like to sneak some of that and like put it on the fans, like their party crackers after everybody was done. There we go. There we go. We're making great time tonight too. I don't know how long this is going to take, but it shouldn't take too long. I'm going to put the lid on that, scrape that off, and all that. I'm not sure if White Mountain Grill showed up. Pimento cheese, caviar, the caviar of the South, right? That's how it was. I mean, I can remember that. And then they had like the smoky bacon cheddar one too. Crafted. They probably still make it. I haven't looked for it in decades, but I would imagine they still make it. So we're gonna let that hang out there. Might need a little bit more milk, but I don't know. Okay, anyhow, let's put that there and let that sort of marinate and do its thing. With jalapenos, yeah, I have canned jalapenos. That might actually be, up until last year you could get pimento cheese spread at Sam's and Costco. Really? Yeah, I think they do. I mean, it kind of, some of those things, they just never go out of style. And I think pimento cheese is sort of one of those things. And there's still plenty of folks out there that still make that kind of stuff. Okay, so anyway, let's set that there. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut up our vegetables. Bust back over to this spot. Sorry to rock you guys around, but it is what it is. So for our meat to get cooked, we're going to cut up a little bit of, we're going to finish that onion off. They love pimento cheese here in South Carolina. I bet it's good. There's nothing wrong with pimento cheese. I just, you know what I mean? It's one of those things that I don't really pick up. But, you know, I'm obviously not above Velveeta cheese. You know what I mean? Because I'm sitting here like doing it right now. For sure. This is my last green pepper of the season. I thought I had two, so we're going to be a little green pepper light. I honestly thought that I had another one in there, but I do not. So this is the last of my homegrown green peppers, and I already pulled out. What, two out of the 5 green pepper plants that I have. I'm kind of hoping that a couple of them still kind of do a little something, but I don't think they will. And so hope that they do something, but I don't think they will. And there's one that I'm actually going to try and I've got some grow lights in the garage. I'm thinking about throwing them into the garage, the one into the garage, and seeing if it'll produce through the winter. Sort of another one of my little science projects, kind of like that sourdough starter, which I'm so stoked about, because I just started doing sourdough at the beginning of the summer, like maybe late spring at the most, and those sourdough discard pancakes are the best best pancakes I've ever had in my life. And I've had some pretty darn good pancakes in my day, and those are like end-all be-all pancakes. And I want to break out the waffle iron, the old Wapak waffle iron that I got, and make some maybe some sourdough discard waffles. I think that'd be great. Natalia Fitness, what's going on? How are you? I was working out with you earlier. I wasn't doing your workout, but I was doing my workout while we were watching. So thanks for showing up. Natalia has a great fitness channel. She's from New Zealand, and she does a great fitness show, and she's fun to watch as well. A little oregano that we're going to throw onto the vegetables that I picked earlier today. Just like actually right before the sun went down. I'm going to, so I break this stuff off of there. We're going to, let's see, thanks. Yo, you're so welcome. Yeah. I try to promote everybody that I watch. Especially if they're nice enough to stop by this little silly channel where we just clean up 100-year-old pieces of lost art and put them to some good use. And then got our cayenne pepper. Let's roughly cut that up. There we go. But I'm probably gonna have to stir up that that cheese because I don't want the cheese to scald. So, oh yeah, that's starting to look a little better. Here, if you guys can see it, it was kind of grainy there when we first started. I know it's kind of out of the picture a little bit, but I've got my hands full. So we'll keep that low temperature going. It's starting to pan out. It's going to be nice and hopefully has a good consistency enough to pour over the chips. There we go. There we go. Keep that up there going. Bring you guys back over here. We're going to cut up a little bit more onion. And we'll cut up a little bit more onion into there. Won't need a ton, but I'm just going to go ahead and slice this off. And we don't need to dice it because fajitas, you know, they look like fajitas. So there we go. Throw that out of the way. Get this little bit of skin off there. We kind of like badger tuna. Let's see, love your channel. You're doing great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. The channel I started this channel on a bet. I lost a bet and started doing cooking. I never thought I thought I would only do cast iron restoration and cast iron restoration and history of cast iron in America. And then here we are a year later. I've done probably 100 cooking videos, which was definitely not my first choice. I had no idea I was ever going to do cooking. That was not going to be what I did. When I first started doing it, people asked me to cook on there. And I said, that's not what the channel's all about. And here it is. I lost a little bet. And here we are a year later, almost to the day. Because we almost did liver and onions, because that's what I did a year ago today, was liver and onions. And we got our Cherokee purple tomato, heirloom tomato that I grew this year. That's out of the garden. And we'll just kind of, I'm trying to keep it on this little itty bitty cutting board. But here we are 100 videos later and a year later, and I'm doing cooking videos. Life's weird. So there we go. Let's see, the Biggs is the real star of the channel. Yeah, 100%. The Biggs is like 100% the star of the channel. And I think she's beginning to know it. She knows, like she was, I set up the camera stand tonight and she came out and did a spin. She did a spin when I put the camera up. So, so she definitely knows that it's time to do her thing. Let's see, let's get a drink. Check out the comment section here. And Ming, yeah, Ming. It'd be nice if Ming could be here, but she is she's out doing her own thing. She is a grown up now, and she even took a job at a come for the beard, stay for the tail. Yeah, right. Yeah, Ming actually got a regular job, started secondary school, and then she's got a weekend job too. So I gotta make appointments to see Ming at this point. And it used to be she was here like for weeks on end. Yeah, the Beaks knows the camera means treats, 100%. Let's see here. So, I think we're about ready to, yeah, we're about 45 minutes in. I've got this going back here. The cheese is starting to look good. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit because I do not want that to scald. We'll check that out again over here. Do another look. I've got it so I've got the cheese down so low that that I can actually take the lid off without having anything. But you can see that's really started to come along. It's actually about where you want it to be. There we go. I think I got some cheese on there. Yep, we did. Oh well, it'll stay there. So then we'll go back to here and readjust. Let me see, we'll get that readjusted. But we're going to throw just a little bit of avocado oil on there. Just a smidge. And a paper towel, and we'll wipe that around. I don't like body hair. Okay? I don't know what that's all about, but we know G doesn't like body hair. There we go. We got our avocado oil on there, and we'll break out the meat. There we go. And let me get that out here. You guys can see that okay? You see everything okay? There we go. There we go. Got enough for a couple. Yeah, graze before shave. Hey, that's kind of my motto. Graze before shave. So we'll let that take you guys back over that way. Move the stand up a little bit. About as close as I can get this thing. And we're just going to do this for about 2 minutes. We're going to do it 2 minutes on each side. We're going to sip on our Modelo for a minute. Be careful with your. Hope you won't confuse with that. Yeah. There's no promises. There's no promises, G. Let that kind of sit back there and do its thing. 2 minutes per side, and then we'll do our vegetables. And that's how we're gonna do it. Let me move some of this other stuff out of the way. Because I think we can get rid of the bigger cutting board for now. So I have to wash it anyway. Till I wash it. We'll be just here in a little bit. Turn that fajita pan up just a little bit. White Mountain Girl, how are you? Good to see you. The Queen of New England's here. Always a good sign. Turn that up some. Scotty, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you. I'm hoping it is good. So far, so good, anyway. So far, so good. We're just, like I said, we're just going to let that sit for about 2 minutes, and then we'll give it a flip, because we're going to take it off for just a second, and then we're going to put the vegetables on, and then recombine them, and go from there. Almost looks like bacon. Yeah, it does. Okay, so there's 2 minutes. And if it's sticking, then we'll give it another minute, but I don't think it will. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, it's a little sticking. And that's what, for folks that don't use cast iron very regularly or ever, if it's sticking, it's not ready to flip yet. So don't rush it. Let's see, blanket. Where's blanket? I missed that one. There we go. So we got a nice little sear on that side. A little sear on this side. Spicy. And it's ready to flip. There we go. There we go. Almost want to break out the press. Press that one piece down a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that's about perfect size. So we'll hit our timer for 2 minutes and let that kind of crank back. Yeah, Scotty's here. Very cool. Good to see you, Scotty. And these beers are going down good. Fortunately, they've been going down good all day long. Baseball playoffs only come once a year, so I make the exception. I make that exception. Normally I don't start having drinks until about 7 p.m. But this time of year, it is what it is. There you go. Looking pretty creamy in there. Love the smell of flank. Yeah, me too. And my butcher has the best flank steak. I mean, just absolutely phenomenal. You cannot beat it. Cannot beat it, what they have down there. Curly's Meats, Jackson Center, Ohio. If you're ever in the area, or you are in the area and you've never tried out Curly's Meats, definitely check it out. It is phenomenal. They have it was a butcher shop, and now it's almost like a super meat store. So yeah, you honestly just can't beat it. And they just got their liquor license, which is pretty fun. You got beers from all over the place, all over the country. Good to see you as well. I never get notified. Yeah, it's YouTube, man. And plus, I don't know how to do that thing where it schedules people to like show up. So the few times that I tried to do that, I ended up becoming a viewer, and so I don't know what I did wrong, but evidently I do something wrong that I need to figure out. But with all the technology that I've gotten used to here recently, that should be sort of a thing of the past. We're going to take that, flip this over, and then we're going to take it off. We're going to take that off of there and put it on a little bowl and let that roll. Let it roll for a minute. Yeah. Take that off. Throw that over there, off to the sides. I don't want that to overcook. Put that onto a plate and set that up to the side. It's going to get a little hairy here with all the stuff in the way. Throw a little bit more avocado on there. There we go. Good way to season the pans too. So we'll throw our onion on there. Put the onions on. All of our little goodies into there. There we go. And a little more of that. There we go. Let that sit on there. We'll let that rock and roll for a minute. There we go. My mom had a recipe for marinating flank steak. Really? Onion. Oh yeah. My favorite lives are how I know what day it is. That's funny. Me too. I actually thought I didn't do my normal thing, like the post. I swore to God it was Wednesday today. I all day long till about 3 o'clock I thought it was Wednesday. Shows what I know. Okay, so there's that. We got this thing going on back here. We've got these, so we got that heating up. Got our vegetables going. Let me make a little bit of room off to the side here and grab another drink. Because this is definitely a 2-drink live stream, I think. I think it's going to be like that. I don't know if I'm going to I'm going to have to get at least a bowl or plate out. Yeah, I'll just get a plate. I'm not going to do the usual serving plate. We're just going to do it this way. I make fajitas with flank steak, marinate overnight, and grill. Yeah, that's one of the unfortunate things about doing something like this is I can't show, unless I do like an actual video, I can't do like the whole process. Now, I know here pretty soon once the pumpkins are done, and I was right about the one pumpkin. The one pumpkin that I brought in ended up being kind of a dud. So it's now a decoration out on the front patio. But when I do the actual pumpkin videos of making the pumpkin bread and the seeds, that's going to be like probably a 5 to 6 hour live stream. And it's going to start super early on a Sunday morning. But my pumpkins, every time I say they have just like about another week, they have a little bit longer than a week, to my chagrin. So anyway, so there we go. We got that going. Those are getting pretty close. And the other thing I forgot today was sour cream. Yeah, at least two. At least two. I'm not going to say how many I've already had, but let's just say I started fairly early in the day. That's for certain. Very, very early in the day. Not before noon, but not much after it, to be honest. Hold on 1 second. Oh, Beagle, what are you doing? Beagle, you can't have anything yet. I did misplace my bottle opener, so I had to jump out to the garage and grab the vintage 1970s bottle opener. Everybody's got to have one of those. The vintage 1970 camper with all the accoutrements. Okay, so there we go. So we got that. Throw the meat back on there. Let that continue to go. We don't want it too much longer, so we're going to go ahead and put the fajita pan. 27 in one can. I know, right? I've had that can opener probably, this is going to date how old I am. I bet I've had that thing 20 years, at least, if not more, 20, 25 years. And that was another thing that I got at a garage sale. Why are all these things sticking together? All my fajitas have been sticking together that I've gotten, and I've gotten different brands just because of that. Avocado oil this over here. But all my fajitas are sticking. And I've gotten 3 different brands, and they all did that. Every one did. And I've tried all the tricks. Can everyone put a 1 in the chat for us mess makers? I must have missed something. All 3 for easy payments, $19.97. Granny Graham, what's going on? Mary Pace, how are you? Man, these are all falling apart. I don't know what's going on. Why everybody's fajita shells have been falling apart. That is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Okay, shipping. I must have missed something. I missed something. Eagle, where'd you go? Where'd you go, Beagle? Okay. So we're going to pull this off. That's done. There we go. And we've got our fajita going this way. There we are. Turn the back one off. We don't need that again. Unless I decide to make another. See how they stuck together? The one stuck to the other one? Yeah, that really kind of bums me out. Double tap screen, thumbs up. Yeah. But yeah, that really bums me out. Yeah, I got one off of there that isn't stuck. I had a pack of 40 of them a month ago, and they've all stuck. And here's the finished product that I just threw it over here onto the heat fan. So there's that. What brand did you buy? These are Mission. These are Mission. And they aren't the ones I normally buy, but the one I bought ones that were the ones I normally buy, and they did the same damn thing. Stuck together like that. Kind of fries my ass, if you know what I mean. Really, truly does. Because, and the other ones I bought were the Azteca ones. That brand, bought those, and those did it. Yeah, it's been like a conspiracy with all these different brands that are screwing up like that. Oh, and I gotta get the chips out too. They have been sticking. Have you noticed that too? Yeah, 100%. My package of 40 is actually, dude, it actually turned out to be about 10 by the time it was all over with. I ended up taking it at one point, and I ended up putting them on in the oven and put them in a little bit of olive oil and sort of making like half-assed Doritos with them. That's what I ended up with. Yeah, it was not cool at all. Not even kind of. So we got these over here going fairly good. With that cheese melt just a second, and then we're going to make these off there and kind of move this over. Because normally I have the serving tray, but tonight we're not going to do that because this is the serving tray, and I'm going to make another round of these. So, it is what it is. Watch out, Beagle. So we got that onto there. Just there, that's that. And then we'll take these and put these onto here. All that onto that. Boy, that's nice looking. If Cynthia Wesley were here, she'd be like, oh my gosh, you got that scraping sound going on. I'd be like, yes, I do. Could have used a little more. Probably could have done a little bit more. I thought it was going to be a little more pepper and onion, but we'll do that for the next round. So I'll throw this back on there, and we'll keep going because I'm going to do 2 of these without even thinking about it. I got the cheese on the bottom. There we go. There's that one. Move that out of the way and put that back on the back burner. we're going to get our sauce on top of this. That over there. Get our sauce back up. Eagle, you might want to move, kid. There you go. Good job. Way to listen. And we got our sauce on top of there. There we go. You guys, I hope you guys can see that okay. The sauce on there. I'll turn that front one off. Kind of wipe that on the side. If you guys can see that. There we go. Strong. Take a little bit of this salsa, or this hot sauce, down the center there. That's all you need. And that's all you need of that on there. We're going to give it a go. Take my gum out of my mouth. Okay, skip the double. I'll take a picture. Alright. I got you. That's how this is. I love it. I love this cheese like this. That's fire. And that sauce is super, super spicy. But that's why I brought out the that's why I brought out the ice cold Modelo's. That is hitting the spot. Let's try this out. If we can get this to come together. This crappy tortilla shell. You guys can see that. The meat's perfect. Nice and tender. We did that, what, about 5 minutes total? Yeah, it's nice and tender. And that hot sauce is it's spicy, but it is really good. And I'll leave once we get done with this, I'll leave a link in the description for the hot sauce video. Anybody that's interested in going to see how we did that. Boy, that's good. Boy, that is tasty. Yeah, that's good stuff there. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the other round on there. The last round of the steak onto here. We'll get that on. Which we have about that much left. Throw a little bit more avocado oil onto here. And we'll bring this back over here to check out the other one. I'll fix the camera in just a second, guys. Well, that's tasty. Still got that sizzle. And you know the thing with these sizzle servers from Wagner? I find it hard to believe that they're still like as cheap as they are. And it's one of the only, like rare cast iron pieces, vintage cast iron pieces that actually made a sizzle server. I think BSR did, but I'm not 100% sure. I mean, Lodge does. I mean, obviously I've got 2 or 3 of the Lodge ones sitting up there. I really don't remember anybody else like making a sizzle server at all. Turn that back up. Then we'll turn the timer on for 2 more minutes. But I'm going to come back over here to the salsa, or I'm sorry, the chips and that fajita, and go from there for a minute. Yeah, me too. I mean, it's William, this is real good stuff. 100%. That's really, really good. And if you would have wanted to, you could have put some of the fajita meat into the cheese sauce, and that would have been really good. Uh-oh, somebody's out here. Somebody's out here now. Who might it be? Who might it be out here wanting a little something? There she is. Everybody's favorite beagle. Ready for a spin? There you go. Good job, killer. Yeah, Dubs wouldn't know about the BSR. I don't know if they ever made a fajita pan at all. I know, I was looking at breakfast skillets today. I was kind of trying to expand my breakfast skillet collection. And I looked at a BSR breakfast skillet today, but can you speak? Can you speak? Speak? There you go. Good job. But I don't really know like how many other companies really made one. I've got the and the other one I saw today was a Lodge one, probably a 50s, 60s spin. There you go. All right. But I'm not really sure about other companies. I know Griswold did. I've looked for Griswold breakfast skillets and divided skillets like that, and they have the one, the 666, and they have a bunch of the other ones. So I know those, you know, they have breakfast skillets, obviously. Pickwa Favorite has two styles of breakfast skillets that I probably could never afford without donating a kidney. Some of these look really good. Look at that. Those are looking tight. Oh, I forgot the tomatoes. But, yeah, the other ones, I mean, I don't know how many other people, I guess that's kind of the big ones, really. And, I've been looking at a lot of, like, Martin Stove and Range stuff. And, this past week, because I've got a Martin Stove and Range out in the live bath. I don't know if they ever made one. I was looking up a lot of the stuff they made, which is a lot of, you know, between them and King Stove, they made a lot of cool stuff, but I don't know if they ever made a breakfast skillet. Let's see, nice. St. Arnold is a mile north of downtown Houston. Have good burgers, paired with a nice sports bar in and out. Oh, okay, cool. Mama Nova. How are you, Mama Nova? Good to see you. Glad you can make it. But yeah, we got this. We'll give this another minute. I'm going to snack on. These chips came out really good. Too bad a lot of it's too hot for the Beagle. She just can't. She couldn't handle that. Fortunately, I can. But yeah, we'll put this one together, and then I'll take it off. I wish I had more peppers, guys, but this was the last of my peppers from the garden for the season, so that's where we're at. What are we cooking? Steak fajitas, and I made some cheese sauce for some sort of like nacho, like a dip that I'm having off to the side right here. It's getting starting to clump up, or it's getting kind of cold. But it's really good, nonetheless. Yeah, so we have about 10 seconds on these. And then I'll pull that off again. What did I do with it? Oh, there's that plate. I'm using it to store my heat on. So we'll take these off. And one more. Take that off. Ooh, that's good. I almost want to just eat one of these by itself. That's like looking really good to me. And we'll throw our onions on there and our minuscule amount of peppers that are left. And oregano and chili peppers. Chili peppers are not, man, these cayenne peppers, I didn't get as many as I got last year on my plants, but they are really good this year. Like last year they were just really super hot. This year they're still really hot, but they have a great taste. And I'm just not going to complain about that one bit. They were really good, and they made a great sauce this year. We'll give those, we'll do those for about a minute and see how it works out, and then we'll throw another shell on. But this one's going to have tomatoes on it for sure. Mama Nova, where are you in from? Where did you? If you already posted, I'm sorry I missed it, but you don't have to give your exact address, but maybe the state or country that you're in. Oh, from Canada, cool. Love me some Canada. I used to go to Windsor a lot. Used to go to Windsor quite a bit. Why does everybody keep putting up Twizzlers? I must have missed something. Is this even legal, the way you're teasing it? I don't know. Yeah, Mama Nova. I do this every Thursday night at 8 o'clock, and then Sunday mornings, most Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, I grew up about 2 hours, 2.5 hours maybe at the most from Windsor here in the States. Just have to make the trek through Detroit and go over the border. There we go. These another minute. But yeah, I used to go to Windsor quite a bit. Because you could still, like, here you couldn't drink till you were 21, but I could go up there and drink at 18, I believe. That's how it went. Through the downtown. We went over the bridge. Maybe. I don't know. I don't ever remember a tunnel in Detroit. But, I mean, could be. There's a lot of stuff with that time period that I don't remember. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff from that time period that I have no idea what the heck happened. I just knew it was kind of crazy, man, going to Windsor, because it was like that. It was almost like that scene in Wizard of Oz, where you'd be like in the part where it was like black and white, and everything was like just really bad, and then you go over into Windsor, and it like turns into color, and it's like always like it's like super pretty, and everything's super clean, and like this like 10, 15 minutes before that, there was like newspapers, like something from like a Quentin Tarantino movie, where there's like newspapers blown across the in the air, and like steam coming up through the manholes. My mom raised in Livonia, Detroit, Finland keeps. Yeah, man. I mean, so you probably know what I'm talking about. I mean, it's just, it's literally a Quentin Tarantino movie. And then you go across the river, or go across, go across into Canada, and it was just like, Munchkin Land and Emerald City. It was nice. I mean, I loved it. People were really friendly. I really don't have any. I've never too much to say bad about Canada. Bad to say about Canada. It was always cool. Super cool. Okay. That back on there. That back on. We're gonna have problems with this fajita cook. Hopefully not. There we go. What'd that do with that? What'd that do with that bowl of cheese? Put it back away. I don't know. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, there it is. There we go. Well, we got our fajita shell going on over here into the back. Throw a little bit of our cheddar mozzarella blend. Some Colby Jack on there. And as soon as that's heated up, we're going to pop that back onto there, and we're going to try that out. And then we're going to call it a day. I'm going to call it a day, guys. For realsies. Put our fajita thing back over here. I love these little fajita deals. This is actually a Lodge. If you guys can see it. That's a Lodge fajita plate. Fajita holder. Does a really good job. And it fits all of them. It fits that one. It fits my what's the other one? What's the other one I have? The Tabasco one that's Asian. It fits that really well. So I'm pretty happy with that. There we go. Put that on there. There we go. Bam. Turn everything off. Beagle, you gotta. Kid, I'm really worried about you getting burnt. I really am. Because everything's being slippery. Slippery. There we go. There we go. You guys see that okay? We'll back it up just a little bit over to there. And we'll throw everything back into here. Boy, that meat came out really nice. I got no qualms with that stuff. I just wish I had more peppers. And my better tongs. I don't know where my other tongs are. There we go. There we go. Let's see what's going on in the comment section. Yeah, Bob, thank you so much for showing up. I know you messaged me earlier and said you might not be able to be here, so I'm so glad you're here. It's awesome. There we go. And a couple of these. Just these. I hate to waste anything. There we go. There's that. That's on there. And we'll throw a couple of these Cherokee purple tomatoes on there. And some of this hot sauce. There we go. You guys see that okay? Go for the finished product at this point. There we go. Some more of that hot sauce. Well, that's this stuff you aren't getting this at some. You're not getting this at Ruby Tuesdays. I'll tell you that. This is not going to happen at Ruby Tuesdays. So a little room. Put my drink nearby because I'm going to need it. That's because this thing is going to be super hot. Man, look at the juice running off that. Oh man, that is so good. Super messy, Those tomatoes are really good. I really wish I had would have thought to get sour cream today, and kind of added some, kind of thinned it down and just poured that straight on top of there. But that is so good, you guys. That is super, super good. And it was all eyeballed. It wasn't, exact measurements or anything like that. Plus we had, how much did you get in your beard? I'm pretty talented with not getting food in my beard. I've learned to, it's not Taco Cabana for sure. I don't know what Taco Cabana is. That must be local to where you are down in Texas. But I've never had Taco Cabana. But yeah, super good, super good. And that sauce is awesome. Very appetizing show tonight. Hungry me. Thanks, honey. Night all. Stay safe. Yeah. Thanks so much, William Hurt, for showing up. I really appreciate it. Mama Nova, I appreciate you being here too. That's so cool. But yeah, I'm gonna get another bite of this. This is really good. And it was all just, sometimes it's just seasoning, putting the right amount of seasoning, just kind of sprinkling it over the top, letting it marinate for a few minutes and letting it go, and you come out with something really good like this. And it always helps when you make stuff in cast iron. I mean, vintage cast iron is the best thing to cook on there is. Wow. Wow, that's so good. That is so good. And so messy. So with that said, we're going to do a couple tricks from the Beagle. And we're going to let everybody get out of here. And enjoy the rest of their Thursday night. I got some more baseball to watch. I'm really hoping that the Cubs beat the Mets tonight. And keep me in the... keep my team in for the wild card, so actually I can go to a playoff game this year. So, hey Beagle, you want a chip? You want to get a snack? All right, so you can say goodbye to everybody. Oh, get out of that. You don't want that. I dropped a tomato. You don't want that. That'll burn your mouth, kid. Okay, here we go. Give everybody a spin. Say goodnight. There we go. And thanks so much, Rick Stunball, William Hurt, thank you so much for joining. Mama Nova, thank you so much. Val's Black Cat Rule, thank you so much for stopping in. Pat Z, thanks for coming in. Granny Graham that was here, thank you so much for coming in. Greg Hart, thank you so much for coming in, as always. Lake Hickory Guy, thank you so much for showing up. For all the new folks, I really appreciate you guys showing up. I really do. Thursday nights are fun, but it's always more fun when the more the merrier. We're in an Irish house, so that's how it is. And yeah, I appreciate everybody for showing up. So we'll definitely see you guys on Sunday. Who knows what we're making, but we're making something. So one more spin, and we're out of here. All right. I'll see you guys in the comments section. All right. See you.